In memory of Daddy, who laid the foundation for this furious uprising. Yeah, this isn't just a song, it's our war. Tell it the Elle is in the building, no bullshit, only raw truth.
Hey y'all, I hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. I just got done watching the first episode of One Night in Idaho on Amazon Prime, and I just want to say everything I'm about to say in this video is just my reaction, my personal opinions, and thoughts regarding this episode, and I'd love to know what you guys think also. So I watched the first episode, and let me say it loud and clear, none of it adds up, and it kind of left me more annoyed than anything, and it really is frustrating to watch, and it's not giving any more answers to people who really kind of want truth and justice. I mean, that's just my opinion. So let's break it down how I saw it, because it's feeling like a patchwork of confusion. There's not, it's conveniently forgetting many details, and even what's being said is all jumbled, and I don't think that did they not realize some of this? It's just annoying, but sorry, not sorry. This version of events seems like a pre-written script, in my opinion, and it's just not. The math ain't mathin'. But my number one question is about Hunter Johnson and Hunter Chapin, and how Hunter Chapin actually found out about what had happened. And maybe I heard this wrong, so correct me if I did. But did Hunter Johnson go to Sigma Chi and wake up Hunter Chapin? Like, I was very confused. And then Hunter Chapin says he walked from Sigma Chi to 1122. Obviously, we all know it's not very far of a walk. But why are we just hearing some of these things that occurred? And my biggest issue is, if Hunter Chapin walked to 1122 that morning, then why did they have another vehicle there? Was it because Maisie drove there? And like I said, I'm not past episode 1, so maybe I will find out after. But if Hunter Chapin was woken up, was it by Hunter Johnson? Because that was a little confusing, and maybe I'm confusing it with the rumors from prior to this series coming out. But if Hunter Johnson was the one to go wake up Hunter Chapin by chance, if that's how I heard it, and if I heard it right, why was Hunter Johnson not set and kept at that house because of what he had just found? Like, you guys get what I'm saying? But if we're led to believe the surviving roommates waited hours before even calling for help, how did Hunter Johnson then get there? And the whole 911 thing's a lie, because we heard the call. He didn't say call 911. They were on 911 call when we heard in my opinion, the nonsense that's a fake call anyways, and it's scripted and it was staged and planned. Because what they say in episode 1 is not how we heard it actually happen. So that's crazy. And I don't know how more people can't catch that and understand. But again, my question, the black SUV, who drove it there? And it's inside the crime scene tape. Who was driving it? Was it Hunter? Was it Maisie? Or was it someone else? When did it arrive? If it was there so early, how was it, how did it get inside the crime scene to be stuck there before police allegedly taped it off? That would mean someone arrived before the police had fully locked the place down, and it doesn't make sense with the timeline that we've been given. Also, Bethany's car, where was it? How come her car wasn't inside of there if she was at home? That really bugs me. And if she was at the house during the atrocities, where was her car? Why does it show up later outside of the crime scene tape? Because in my opinion, it's the blue, I believe it's like a Honda small SUV. So when did she put her car there? No one wants to explain these things. And then I learned anyways, Josie and her boyfriend, she says, also showed up with or around the same time as Hunter and Emily at 1122, and that they were also called to check things out. She states that we were called because they wanted us and our boyfriends to come check out whatever they were, so freaked out about or something like that. So is Josie, which I thought she could very well be this alleged other roommate that we've all questioned, but no one's wanted to mention, and the potential person that maybe went to the hospital. And then it was like scrubbed from the news article that had stated that, or the news station or whatever, if you guys remember that. But who's Josie's boyfriend, and why is his name being kept quiet? They were both contacted. They were there early with the others. So again, why are we only hearing this now? So many years, later. And after now, Brian took this stupid deal. So I really just have questions. And also, it's just kind of annoying how they all called the 1122 house. They were all referring to King Street, not King Road. And it's like, King Road is the address. Why do these kids now call it King Street? All of them, all of a sudden. Are we watching some narrative get like rebranded in front of our eyes in like real time? And I mean, what other names and faces and who knows, narratives? What else is being switched around? And in my opinion, it's really badly scripted. The narrative isn't making sense, and it all seems shady. And truthfully, I question this 911 call, because it seems like Hunter and Emily and Josie are all trying to say this now narrative of they were all, they all showed up. They followed behind Hunter Johnson to go up the stairs, and he goes first in, I guess, after grabbing a knife. I haven't heard that part yet, but I've heard it from others. And they're all going in behind him, and then they're alleging, he then says, call 911. That's not true, because we heard differently, right? We heard it way differently. And did Dylan hand him this knife here that you're looking at? And who else was really there that night? This dude? I mean, truthfully, it just isn't adding up at all. We heard they were already on the phone. He didn't say call 911. They had already called 911 when we heard what we heard. Do you agree? I don't know, y'all, but I'm not buying any of it. And I never did, obviously. And I think that this whole series is this scripted PR stunt, like a script that was changed one too many times. And something just smells fishy. And I just feel that, like the picture you're looking at right now, something you guys, many of you know, I have weird vibes about the Chapins, and I always have, and some of it's based on what I was told, and that was long ago. And I am gonna do another video or do a live about my beliefs, because we're all able to speak about how we feel, what we feel happened, our theories, right? So we're gonna do that very soon. But this photo, it immediately came to mind when I heard Hunter Johnson say how much he liked Ethan. And I also have always had weird vibes about Hunter Johnson since the time he spoke at the memorial about mainly himself, golfing, and how Ethan was always broke and talked about drinking, and that he was a dude saying that they were besties. I mean, in my opinion, being older, I just believe that dudes don't just like overemphasize their best friendship with someone they were just friends for a year and a half with. It's just a little weird. And there was always rumors at the beginning about, maybe the possibility that Ethan was, into other people, which I believe Ethan loved Xana, don't get me wrong. But was there a possibility that, Hunter Johnson being a little bit older, and the dudes that he hung out with, like, give me creep vibes, like the Gooch kid, and they're older and they just give bad vibes off. And look at his hand. I mean, I've always looked at this photo, and Hunter's hand, where it's at on Ethan's thigh, is just weird for a guy. That's just my opinion, but seems to me more like what a dude would do if he was sitting next to me and we were chilling like that, but a dude to me, not a dude to another dude. It's a little weird, but just my opinion. I just find it odd because Stacy Chapin made that one comment 2 days after this all occurred, that this wasn't some drug situation or it wasn't some love triangle. But how did she know what it was 2 days later? When they were on the local news and it was her and Jim, it just seemed weird. And still to this day, it seems odd, at least in my opinion, how Stacy sounds when she mentions or is asked about Xana. Like, they didn't take her and Ethan's relationship seriously at all, and it's just judgy. And honestly, it kind of irks me that, they made this statement that they were doing this book and this series because they wanted to be the ones to tell Ethan's story. And I get that. But when it gets so weird and when now we're seeing it unfold in front of our eyes, seems like Ethan's story is supposed to be mixed up for a reason. But I don't know, guys. I just thought I'd share after this first episode. I just, also, one last thing about the Chapins when they went to get or stay in the hotel with Hunter and Maisie. The way Stacy explains the phone call when Hunter Chapin calls and tells them, and he says that Ethan's not here, and she repeats over and over. She was like, well, go get him. I mean, what mother isn't going to be like, what do you mean? What do you mean he's not here? Not just, okay, well, go get him. I mean, that was just a little mind-blowing in and of itself as well. And the whole hotel situation, weird for all of them. And then lastly, going back to the friends and them being outside the house and frustrated with the cops, as Josie says, it just is mind-blowing to me that these kids are acting like they, had no clue and they thought it was only Xana. I mean, come on. I mean, they said Moscow's a small town, and I mean, it sounds like, and we see a lot of people had shown up after hearing, and who knows what time that all officially happened. And Jack D supposedly slept through all of this, just literally right there. I mean, living as close as he lived, he was just, asleep. Till when? And Murphy, come on. I think this is crazy and that this was stupid of them to put out, honestly. And I guess the last point I'll make is that this news anchor is stating, and I'll put the clip here, she's saying she's been there, and it's dark outside at this point, that she's been there since about 3 p.m. that afternoon. And we know Kathy Mabbitt did not arrive until, as she stated, 5:30ish, because she was letting the cops do what they do. But she also stated she can't move the bodies until, no one can move the bodies till she arrived. So from that point, 5:30, we all know many news crews would have been there. So how did everybody that then basically camped there for God knows how long miss bodies being taken? Anyways, y'all, I don't know. That's my thoughts for now for episode 1. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I hope to be live soon between now and maybe Monday. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and we'll chat soon.
We ride or die for every soul neglected, every secret kept. Turn up the bass and let our explicit message shatter the silence. Hate is your venom, only makes a fire burn.